grabbed something from her pocket, the burned corner of Charles' diary that she had secretly kept. She held it up. Charles' shadow froze. Emma whispered, "You want me? Then end this story." The shadow screamed. A violent blast of cold air shook the entire house. Lights exploded. Walls cracked. Ceiling buckled. Then everything went silent. The attic door slammed shut. The house went dark. Emma whispered, "It's not over." He didn't disappear. She looked up at the ceiling. A single footprint appeared. Fresh, then another, leading toward her room. Episoth? Inns. Emma knew something was wrong. Charles wasn't haunting the house, she whispered. He was haunting the attic. The attic was never part of the building, it was a part of him. Her dad didn't understand. "What do you mean?" Emma replied. The Maplewood attic wasn't a room. It was a place. A space he created, a space he can carry. They suddenly heard scratching from the ceiling. Long, slow scratches, moving from one side to another. Her mom whispered, "He's in the ceiling." Emma, "No. He is the ceiling." The lights flickered. Darkness swallowed the hallway. And from above them, Charles' voice. "Emma, it's lonely up here." The attic lock snapped. The door opened by itself slowly, as if an invisible hand gently pulled it. Inside, total darkness. Then a figure stepped forward. Long arms, bent posture, sunken eyes. But something was different. His shape was clearer, more human, more powerful. Like he had grown, he whispered, "Now you live where I live." Emma stepped back. Her parents pulled her away. But the house groaned, walls pulsing like a heartbeat. The attic wasn't in the house. The house was inside the attic. Emma's family believed they escaped Maplewood. They moved to a rental house 3 states away. New rooms, new neighborhood. New start, but haunting doesn't stop when you leave the house. Sometimes, the house leaves with you. First night in the new home, Emma was unpacking when she heard a noise. A soft creaking, a familiar rhythm. Rock, rock, rock. Her heart dropped. It was the sound of the same rocking chair that had burned in the attic. Emma froze. She whispered, "No, no, you're gone." But the sound continued. From the other side of her bedroom wall, Emma's parents dismissed it. "Just house noises. You're still anxious." But the next morning they found something impossible. On the hallway ceiling, footprints, small, dark, dusty, leading straight toward Emma's room. Her dad tried to clean them. It wiped. Once. The prints vanished like smoke. He wiped again, and they reappeared a foot away, as if something was moving above them, or crawling. That evening, the landlord visited. He handed them the new house keys and said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Your attic door gets stuck from the inside." "It's old." Emma froze. "Attic?" The landlord smiled. "Yeah, very old attic. Previous owners never used it." Emma's parents looked at each other nervously. Their new house also had an attic. When the landlord left, Emma whispered, "It followed us. Charles isn't trapped in Maplewood. He's trapped to me." Suddenly, bang, something hit the new attic door from inside. 1, then 2, then 3 times. Slow. Heavy. Almost patient. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She heard the slow creaking again. She walked into the hallway. The attic door was shaking lightly, as if breathing. Then a small, crumpled piece of paper slipped out from under the attic door. Emma slowly picked it up. It was burned around the edges, written in shaky handwriting. "You left my home, so I brought IT to you." Her hands trembled. The handwriting looked like the diary, the one they burned. He is one of the most recognizable faces on the planet. A global superstar, a wrestler, an actor, and a symbol of power and positivity. But behind the muscles lies a hidden story of pain, struggle, poverty, and life-changing moments that shaped the man the world now calls The Rock. This is the untold truth of Dwayne Johnson. Before fame, before wrestling, Dwayne Johnson's family was evicted from their apartment. At just 15, he found himself living in cheap motels, sometimes sleeping in cars. He said he felt like his life was collapsing. Most people know The Rock as a hero, but few know he was once on the wrong path. Stealing, fighting, getting arrested. His teenage years were full of trouble. Et la tersaille. If I didn't change, I wouldn't survive. Dwayne dreamed of being a professional football player. He trained for years, only to be cut from teams again and again. The final rejection sent him into deep depression. He had only $7 left in his pocket. Those $7 would later inspire his company, $7 Productions. Rocky Maivia, his first WWE persona, was a complete failure. Crowds booed him, chanted "Die, Rocky, die," and fans begged WWE to remove him. The company considered letting him go, but Dwayne refused to quit. He reinvented himself and became The Rock, one of the most electrifying personalities in wrestling history. Hollywood once believed wrestlers couldn't act. Dwayne proved them wrong. For his movie debut in The Scorpion King, he received a record-breaking $5 million, the highest ever for a first-time leading actor. This moment launched one of the biggest careers in cinema. Dwayne Johnson openly talks about his mental battles. He has faced depression multiple times in his life after his football career failed. After breakups and during moments of intense pressure, he reminds fans, "Depression doesn't discriminate. You're not alone." His real name, Dwayne Douglas Johnson, came from his father and grandfather, both legendary wrestlers. His grandfather, Peter Maivia, influenced Samoan wrestling culture. Dwayne carries the tattoos and traditions to honor his family legacy. The Rock's iconic tattoo is more than decoration. It represents his struggles, battles, dreams, failures, and rebirth. It took 60 hours to complete and symbolizes the warrior spirit he believes lives inside him. Before Dwayne, action stars were one-dimensional, silent, tough, emotionless. He changed the formula: strong, yes, but also funny, charismatic, and human. His style inspired an entirely new era of blockbuster characters. Behind the scenes, Dwayne supports children's hospitals, veterans, disaster victims, and low-income students. Most of his donations are private. No publicity, no cameras. He believes true generosity doesn't need an audience. From homelessness to the highest-paid actor in Hollywood, from a troubled teenager to the most inspirational figure of a generation, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's story is not just about strength, it's about transformation. This is the untold journey of the man who turned $7 into a global empire. When asked why, he stated, Elias answered with one sentence, "Someone has to keep them inside." The crew asked him, "Keep who inside?" Elias didn't reply. That night, the documentary team reported low, metallic sounds echoing from the abandoned mine shafts. A slow, dragging noise, like something moving underground. They asked Elias. He simply said, "You shouldn't be here after dark." The next morning, the crew packed and left. The footage they recorded was never broadcast. Today, Dry Hollow is cut off. No cell service, no roads maintained. Yet government census records still list the population as 1 Elias Ward. But here's the terrifying part. Elias would be 112 years old, and every ranger who's visited Dry Hollow claims to have seen a thin, elderly figure standing outside the mine entrance, holding a lantern. When they shout to him, the figure turns and walks into the mine. But when rangers follow, the tunnel is empty, dust untouched. No footprints, no lantern, just cold air and the metal echo of something moving deeper in the dark. So who is the last resident of Dry Hollow? Is Elias Ward still alive? Or is the census right for another reason? Maybe there is still someone living in that town. Or maybe, just maybe, Elias was right. Maybe he stayed behind to make sure whatever hid beneath Dry Hollow never walks into the world again. In the far deserts of Nevada, beyond any highway, beyond radio signal, lies a place most Americans have never heard of. A ghost town called Dry Hollow, once home to more than 100 miners. Today, its official population is just one man. At least, that's what the records say. Dry Hollow was founded in 1912, a silver boom town. Bars, cabins, a small church, a town carved into the desert rock. But in 1964, the silver dried up. And so did the people. Families packed their bags overnight. Miners disappeared into other towns. Within a month, Dry Hollow was empty. Except for one man. His name was Elias Ward. The last resident. The caretaker. The man who refused to leave. Some say he stayed to protect something. Others say the desert wouldn't let him go. For years, hikers reported seeing a single lantern moving between the empty buildings at night. When they approached, there was no one there, only footprints in the dust, older than they should have been. In 1987, a documentary team visited Dry Hollow to interview the lone resident. They found Elias living inside the old sheriff's office. Quiet, calm, and strangely, watching the mountains as if waiting for something. The school was the most disturbing. Chairs knocked over. Books on the floor. And on the chalkboard. 2 words. It's here. Investigators photographed it. 2 days later, the writing disappeared. Without anyone entering the room, search teams moved into the forest. And there, things got stranger. Every compass pointed east, no matter which way the searchers turned. Deeper inside, they found tall wooden structures, shaped like cages, but without doors. Some were 8 feet high. Inside them, claw marks. Massive. Not from any known animal. The FBI took samples. The results were classified. In an abandoned cabin, they found one final clue. A tape recorder. Still running. This is the last audio ever recorded in Raven Creek. Static. Footsteps. Heavy breathing. A voice whispering. They're in the trees. Don't look at their faces. Then a loud crack, an inhuman growl, and a scream that cuts off instantly. After that, silence. Forever. Today, the U.S. government has sealed the area. Raven Creek is not on GPS. Satellite images are blurred. Locals say the forest still hums at night, and lights still move between the branches. What happened to the 241 people of Raven Creek? No one knows. Some say it was a government experiment. Others believe it was something ancient, something the forest kept hidden for centuries. But one thing is certain. Raven Creek didn't die. It was taken in one single night in northern Arizona. Deep inside the Kebab Forest, there was once a small town called Raven Creek. Population 241. Today, 0. Because one cold October night, the entire town vanished. Raven Creek was peaceful, a logging community, families, a school, a church, a normal American town, until the fall of 1991, when the strange things began. People reported lights in the forest, a low, humming sound, beneath the ground, and shadows moving between the trees. At first, they blamed wildlife. But wildlife doesn't whisper your name from the dark. On the morning of October 17th, the mailman arrived. But the town felt wrong. Quiet. Too quiet. No children. No barking dogs. No voices. He walked across the town and found no one. Not a single person. Breakfast plates were still warm. Lights were left on. Keys in car ignitions. Doors wide open. It looked as if every person in Raven Creek stood up at the same time and walked into the woods. Inside the diner, half-eaten pancakes, steaming coffee, a jukebox playing the last song someone selected at 2:13 a.m. But the people, gone, without a trace. Police searched every home. No bodies, no footprints, no tire tracks, nothing. It was like the residents simply evaporated.